Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. Well, today, the mailman showed up with a book I ordered a long time ago, and it finally arrived. And this is it. It's Donald Woolley's the vz52 rifle series. It's about two rifles, the vz52 and its later cousin, the vz52/57. What are the vz52/57 guys? Well, back when there was a country called Czechoslovakia. Today it's broken up and it's two republics. One's called the Czech Republic and the other's called Slovakia, which is also a republic. The Czechs are more industrialized and Slovaks are a little more agrarian. They get along. They mutually agreed to separate, and it was just a gentleman's agreement. It wasn't we're rebelling and separating away. It wasn't like a Civil War sort of situation. It was a result of them finally winning their independence. It's called the Velvet Revolution, which was a little less violent than the 1968 Prague Uprising, which was against the Soviets. The Czechs were not a very Soviet people, but they were forced into the Eastern Bloc, and they really didn't like it. Anyway, back then, the Ruskies had developed this rifle they called the SKS, and they were selling the data package for the SKS to all of their satellite nations, and the Czechs were one of those satellite nations. But the engineers at Brno in Czechoslovakia were very brilliant, very resourceful, and very creative gunsmiths on their own, and had designed many an innovative weapon of their own. So when the Russians said, "You will buy the SKS," they said, "We've already got one." They built this in 1952. And this is a equivalent to a SKS in a lot of respects, though it's chambered in a proprietary Czech round called the 7.62 by 45. And from 1952 until finally in 1957, when the Ruskies put their foot down and said, "No, you will go with the SKS." Well, they forced them to go to the Eastern Bloc standard of the 7.62 by 39. So they rechambered this to 7.62 by 39 and called it the VZ52/57. You can get a conversion kit for this one to the 7.62 by 39, and it consists of a little adapter that you glue into place at the beginning of the chamber that will neck it down to 7.62 by 39. And I have one over there, but I've never installed it because, well, why bother? I mean, yes, I can't get 7.62 by 45 ammo. It's unavailable. It's just absolutely unavailable. But so what? It's just a neat rifle. I got it because it's a neat rifle. I'm a collector. I'm not really much of a shooter. I'm a collector. And this is a neat rifle. Well, it's such a neat rifle that I ordered a book on it, and it took it forever to get here, but it finally got here. And this is not one of those bestsellers, it's not like Gone with the Wind or something, but it has all of the data you could possibly want on this particular rifle. Now, it's interesting, for years the Czechs were selling these off or giving them away as military aid to a lot of the countries in Africa and South America when they were doing Marxist rebellions. You could see these in Biafra, in Katanga, in other African countries. The guys who were going over to Cuba in the Bay of Pigs, this was the rifle they carried, because the CIA could get a hold of these, and they were totally deniable, because these were actually Eastern Bloc weapons. But it's just an interesting example of Cold War rifles. And I collect rifles from the Cold War, from World War I, World War II, and the Cold War. And that's really the cutoff for my collecting. I really enjoy the early World War I stuff, but some of the later, like this is semi-auto. It's a gas operated. There's a gas tube underneath this, and it's innovative how you take it off and stuff. The magazine comes out, but it also uses a stripper clip to feed, and it's just an innovative design. It's so check. It's just so check. It's a beautiful weapon, I think. There were two vz52s. Well, one of them was called the CZ52 to delineate it. Actually, there were three. There was a machine gun, a rifle, and a pistol. The pistol was in 7.62 by 25. This is in 7.62 by 45, and I think the machine gun is also in 45, 7.62 by 45. But I'm not familiar with the machine gun because I don't have one, and I don't expect to ever get one, given the way the NFA is. But it's just an interesting rifle. I will never shoot it, but I think it's neat, and it's in my collection, and it'll stay there because it's just cool, I think. So anyway, the vz52 and a book on it, which thrills me. So I'm going to be doing a lot of reading tonight. It just came today. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Happy trails.